Hey everybody, welcome to this awesome episode interview of the Electronic Cafe. Mark and I have had the amazing pleasure to chat with Jason Corbett and Shannon Hemmett from Actors, and obviously we talked to Shannon about her side project Leathers. Mate, just lovely people, right?
A whole lot of talent, great songs. I mean, highly influenced by the British scene. I mean, Depeche Mode, Powerhouse. I mean, the list of influences goes on, and they're a band that fit exactly in the sweet spot of Electronic Cafe. I mean, they're a band that are a great band, write great songs, have a great sound, and more people should know about them. They are growing. You know, we would like to help and do our little bit and just introduce them to people and just go, well, if you like this, why don't you check these out? Yeah,
I couldn't agree more, mate. Yeah, and you know, and it has come from hard yards. I mean, when you listen to Jason's upbringing, I mean, that man's had it tough. Right? I found that quite emotional to listen to, actually, and look at him now.
You know, people find solace in music, or they find an outlet in music and stuff, and he's channeled it. You know, they're just great people. I mean, they're hardworking. They're back over here next year.
Can't wait for that.
New album in the pipeline. It's all looking good for them.
It is, and you know, for everyone on the EC, when they announce their tour dates for next year, we thoroughly recommend you go and see them because they are brilliant live. We saw them at the Garage earlier this year. Did not disappoint. They're absolutely brilliant. So yeah, check them out live as well. But yeah, should we let everyone see the conversation, mate?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, come and see Actors on the Electronic Cafe. Enjoy. Going back to one of my questions.
It's one of yours. Yeah.
Andy's a bit like your dog. Like if he doesn't get any attention, he gets a bit.
Hey everyone, welcome to another awesome interview episode of the Electronic Cafe. Today we are super stoked to be talking to both Jason Corbett and Shannon Hemmett from one of our favourite bands, Actors. Jason and Shannon, welcome to the Electronic Cafe. Great to see you both.
Hello.
Thanks for having us. Well, guys, look, welcome to Electronic Cafe. I mean, I know you guys have been touring so hard. Jason, we met you and Shannon at the Garage, but I just saw you just about to go on another tour in the US. I mean, your fan base must be growing. I mean, because you guys are doing some hard yards on the road.
Yeah, I think people get this perception that we're out like all the time.
Yeah,
because we're always promoting. And then I always think we're not playing enough. But then when I look at how many shows we do per year, I'm like, oh my God, like lots of shows. So yeah, thankfully, people just keep coming out and supporting, and the crowds just grow and grow. So the word of mouth has been so important. And like shows like this, like what you guys are doing, it's baby steps, but it's like from the ground up, and it just continues to grow. So
growing the right way. Yeah. And Shannon, I mean, over the years, where are you finding the biggest reaction to you guys? Because I mean, I'm not being biased, but yeah, you guys were going down a storm at the Garage. But I'm curious to know, where do you feel the love the most?
Yeah, the London show was really amazing. London's always been good to us. A lot of the cities in Germany have always
they would
given us a nice warm reception as well.
Yeah.
Spain is great
for
us too. Yeah. And you know, sort of the main cities in the US, bigger kind of coastal cities, are usually quite good for us as well.
Yeah, New York, LA, Chicago, Detroit.
You are going truly global, guys, which is great.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
going back to the beginning and like the formation of Actors, and probably before that, even like, you know, your lives, what was the inspirations or what was the music you was listening to at the time which kind of led you down this path?
I started playing like metal in my teen years. And then, you know, I tried a few different things with different bands, and really with Actors, the impetus was really like, I'm sick of like trying to get like a record deal, you know, like, or trying to please anybody, or even like, I didn't even think I was going to put a record out with Actors. I thought, oh, I'm just going to release some singles. But right from the first single, it's like something was kind of hitting a different, you know, the response was a bit different, and like people were more interested. And the first people to really jump on board were through Facebook and in Europe. Like the influences of my childhood really popped up. Like listened to a lot of Roxy music in the house growing up. David Bowie, you know.
I like your house.
Sorry?
I like your house.
Yeah. Well, it was, to be honest, it was I know you're talking about the music, but like it was either a little tiny 1-bedroom apartment where we were so poor, like I slept on the couch. We had and then I lived in a trailer park, like really came up grassroots.
Yeah.
My mom's boyfriend, he took me when I was 10 years old, took me to see Billy Idol and introduced me to David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust. He took me out to see that movie. So those were like some really like big artists in my life. And my mom always had like Avalon, Roxy music playing in the background. So Gary Newman Cars was like always on like one of the radio stations. So these things really bubbled up to the surface in Actors without me even thinking about it. Like I was just like, oh, I like this synth sound.
Yeah.
And then I kind of go, oh shit, that's Gary Newman's synth sound, you know, or it was very natural. And I think people heard the honesty in Actors.
How did the lineup become? Because I think the lineup's changed a bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. But how's the lineup come to where you guys are now? Because you all seem, the four of you seem so tight right now.
Well, Adam was with me with my last band for like the last year we were playing, and I didn't think we were going to tour or anything. But I had Adam come into the studio, and we were working on a couple of Actors songs, and I had different members joining the band, trying like just to play live. We were a 5-piece at one time.
Yeah, I read that.
And then our keyboard player couldn't make it, and I brought in Shannon because Shannon and I had started working on Leathers because I saw her on Instagram singing music. I thought, oh, she has a great voice.
Yeah.
It was like something I really wanted to work on with her because she was in Vancouver. So I reached out to her, said, she come by the studio. So as soon as we played our first show with Shannon on keyboards, that was the missing ingredient for me as an artist, the feminine energy on stage, because there's so much feminine influence in the music to me, you know?
Yeah, it comes across really powerfully on stage.
Yeah. I mean, visually, it looks really good as well, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like women in bands personally. I mean, like Debbie Harry or Susie and the Banshees or Garbage. I mean, that look I think is really good. I mean, the last band I was in, my wife's a singer. She was the singer in the band. I really kind of like that, and I think you look good on stage with the women.
You know, Kendall I didn't know at all. Same. I saw her on Instagram. Someone posted her playing a performance of The Rip from Portishead, like loop guitar singing, and she's all in black, and I was like, who's this? I need to like recruit her to play with in Leathers with Shannon.
Yeah.
And then so I invited her out to the studio and I said, don't worry, I'm not some producer pervert. You can ask Shannon. She'll vouch for it.
I've got references.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's on a quest to see how many women you can get in the band.
Yeah, right. Well, I didn't think she was going to be in the band for actors, but after seeing like how well Shannon and Kendall hit it off as friends and how talented she was, Kendall works really hard. She's very musical, so
oh yeah,
it was like a perfect addition to the band,
It's like the band went up to 11, right?
It really did.
Totally.
Like if the girls were just like, I've never been interested in just like having a pretty face on stage with me or whatever. Like there's a real musical chemistry, and that comes first and foremost. Yeah. And I think, it shows at our shows,
But am I right in saying you're actually is it 10 bands pre-actors? Is that so? You kind of really. I read that somewhere. I might be wrong, but it was like 10 bands beforehand.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I've been playing steady since high school, right? Like I was in a band called Saddle Sores. We did cowpunk, and like I toured down the west coast of the U.S., across Canada, and then I did Speed to Kill. We were signed to a development deal with 604 Records in Vancouver here, and then we were on the cusp of a deal with Interscope, which fell through kind of at right at the last minute. And then I started TV Heart Attack, and I was talking with Andy Gill from Gang of Four. He was going to come out and produce it.
Wow.
And then I was going to go out there and do vocals. And then our funding fell through for that, which was heartbreaking. So I did a couple albums with that group. But when I look back and I listen to TV Heart Attack, I really hear that I wasn't ready yet. My voice wasn't where I wanted it to be. It still wasn't. You could hear where it was going to become actors, but it wasn't there yet. And so I'm really thankful that as long as it took, I'm happy that we're finding success now, much later than that. It's much more tempered, and I'm ready for it emotionally.
I mean, we see so many bands that were signed too early, and they was too young for it, or they wasn't experienced enough, and it kind of all falls flat. So I mean, it's probably good that you've been allowed to grow and you've become what you've become, like right now. But going back to the influences, Shannon, what was your influences? I mean, I saw you had a Bauhaus t-shirt on, and there's a Depeche Mode poster behind you. So
definitely those are the top two for sure. I started to. I mean, I think like Depeche Mode is one of those bands that was kind of like always kind of around when I was younger. And then I didn't realize until later that I actually knew all the lyrics to the songs because they had just been kind of like floating around in my atmosphere for a while. But I remember kind of discovering the Ultra record in high school and then kind of going backwards from that. And then realizing how much of the discography I actually knew without even knowing it was them. So I kind of discovered them in a bit of a backwards way. There wasn't a huge amount of music in my household. My dad really likes surf rock, actually. So we listened to like a lot of like the Ventures and like Santo and Johnny, like that kind of Lynchian surf rock kind of music in the house. But and the Beach Boys, things like that.
But that's good, right? You get exposed to a lot of varied music, and it kind of like it comes part of your DNA.
Definitely, yeah. Of my mom and dad, like neither my mom and dad played instruments, but my grandmother played piano and the organ, so I think she was quite musical. My grandfather played guitar, so there was like, and he was kind of always like a little bit interested in technology. Like he bought like these like Yamaha keyboards that had like drum machines inside. So I had some like exposure to that, like being at my grandparents' house. He would have like a sing-along like Yamaha keyboard that you could like, you'd press a button and it played a chord for you, like sort of like simplistic synthesizers in a way.
Outside these windows, the moonlight cries, haunting dreams eternal, lost in your eyes. Your face makes it feels like
Quick question for me. Is there a new Actors album in the pipe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You sound like yellow then. Oh, yeah. that's when Jason's meant to go.
Well, the three songs we released last year, Dead Inside, In Real Life, and Object of Desire, I want to have those 3 songs on the album, but now it's like I'm working on about 10 more songs right now that are all in various stages of being finished. I know I kind of promised, and we promised an album like a year ago, or maybe even longer, but there were a lot of tours that ended up taking a lot more of our time.
Sure.
And you go on tour and you come back, and sometimes it's a bit hard to just jump into being creative. Also, with the upcoming record, there was a lot of not that it doesn't sound like Actors. It for sure does. It has all the hallmark elements of Actors, but I really want to kind of explore the mixes and just try a couple different things and be really kind of sure of kind of what we were going to put out, and just getting into a creative flow. And I'm really excited about the next record.
You touched on it there. I mean, you play a lot of shows, and you have to come back and get back into the frame of mind or being creative and writing stuff. What's your general process writing? Do you all write and you bring something to the party, or do either of you write and present it to the band? I mean, what is the general process for Actors writing songs?
For Actors, basically, I head off to my studio, Jackknife Sound. It's very solitary at first, and I get the bones of the song together, like in terms of like tempo, a beat, kind of a chord progression, and I kind of flesh it out, and then I'll bring the rest of the band in to play certain parts and give their kind of angle on it. Obviously Kendall and Shannon both sing backing vocals. Yeah. This is the first record where Kendall's playing primarily all the bass on the record. Adam will do some of the drums, and some of it is electronic programming, and then I play the guitar. Shannon's got some keyboard stuff and vocals, of course. So really, I'm the songwriter, but in terms of the final DNA of the songs, it's a group effort.
Nice. Yes. Any idea when roughly it will be out, or can't say yet?
We have a tour coming in Europe, September 2026, which includes a show in London. Basically, I'll have the album handed in probably by late December of this year, and then we're going to start rolling out the singles, and it will be out. I'd like to see it come out right before that tour.
accident.
She's going to go let the dog
I'll
out.
be right back.
No worries.
So,
Puppies come first.
yes.
I get it.
And our 3 cats. Yeah, it's an army of animals.
I mean, me and Andy was in bands in, well, 80s, 90s onwards. But most of the places we played in London, a lot of those clubs have gone now. I mean, have you noticed in Vancouver over the last 10 years or so that
Sure.
less and less, there's less and less venues for up and coming bands or bands in general to play?
Well, what I was seeing was people coming out to shows less and less and going more into like, DJ culture, dance culture. Because when I first started playing in Vancouver as a teenager, like you could go to like 4 or 5 different clubs downtown and there was lineups each club for local bands. And that was kind of, I feel like, the last hurrah. And then as real estate goes up and you start losing certain venues, I find there's always new venues popping up, but not with the same kind of budget and, pizzazz as there was.
Yeah.
So definitely we've seen a lot of clubs fall to the wayside.
I mean, I reckon probably only 20% of the clubs that we played around London exist still. Good point where you touched on as well about promoting and stuff, because we put on some live shows. I mean, you might have seen we've done Wolfgang Fleur, we put then Jericho on recently. We've done, how many have we done now? Four live shows. But getting people to actually commit and buy tickets is really difficult. We want people that if you're going to go, buy a ticket, because bands and promoters and stuff incur costs before the actual day. And I don't know whether that mindset is come down because of COVID and stuff. People don't want to buy stuff in case stuff's cancelled. That's foremost in their mind. But we find there's a rush right on the last week of buying tickets, and you're just promoting it constantly. It's really hard work. So I can understand how some venues kind of sadly have gone bust because they haven't had a lot of money up front to play with. I mean, people aren't committed.
Right. All change. Welcome back, Dan. Hope the dog's all right. Mark, you had that question for Shannon about leathers.
Did I?
You did. I can ask you if you want. But
you jumped into one of my questions earlier, so
I know I did. I'm sorry, mate.
Carried away.
So carried away and excited when I meet bands I love. It's great. But look, we're not only big Actors fans, but also we're loving your output here. So I think I sent you, that's when we first started talking, I sent you a little gift saying Electronic Cafe, one of the albums of the year. I think you're number 16 or something.
Yeah, that's so nice.
I know you've got, I mean, Jason's just saying you've got enough stuff going with Actors, but are you also finding time to work on levels? I mean, I just love, because the output from you two is incredible, but...
Yeah, I'm since we've been home since about mid-May, I've been tattooing, and that's why I tattoo as my day job at home. So I've just sort of been catching up on day-to-day life over the summertime here, but now coming into the fall, and definitely once we get home from this next tour, I'll be focusing on the next round of songs for Leathers. I'm just excited to get going on some of the kind of new ideas I have. I want to start incorporating a little bit more guitar back into the sound. Our first single, Missing Scene, had kind of a curve-esque shoegaze kind of vibe to it. Wow. And I would like to, I'd just like to add like a little bit more guitar atmosphere.
Looking forward to that. And we noted you played Cruelwell in May in many gigs, and you had an amazing lineup. Did you get to meet any of Nick Cave or the Bernie and the crew? Did you meet some of the bands there?
Who did we meet? 1 second.
I can hear something clicking.
That dog knows when we are showing someone else attention. Let's see who's back there. I was going to tell you earlier. A friend of mine from Vancouver was saying, like, "Oh, if you see Midge-Ure, tell him I say hello." And I'm like, as if I'm going to see Midge-Ure. And then back in the grounds, I'm like face to face with Midge-Ure. I'm like, "Oh, hi, Midge." I'm like, my friend Mo from Vancouver, who owns the rickshaw, he wants to say hello. He goes, "Oh, I love Mo. Oh, great." So I'm talking to Midge-Ure and I'm fanboying, and this woman comes out of the trailer and she goes, "Oh, Jason Shannon." She goes, "Oh my God, I'm Mick Conroy's assistant from Modern English. He loves actors." And she goes on and on about actors. Midge is standing there, and Midge is like, "All right then." Kind of walks off. I'm like, "Oh wow."
We had a similar thing with Midge-Ure because we it goes back a long way. My cousin used to go out with Midge-Ure back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I was like an Ultravox fan, and she was a model, and she also went out with Adam Ant, but she was a model, and she went out with Midge-Ure for a while, and he lent me a load of VHS cassettes of when they were recording at Connie Plank's studio. So, I mean, he didn't know me from Adam. So he lent me all this stuff when I was a 15-year-old. I literally gave Donna everything I possibly had for him to sign. So it must have been like literally everything. He signed everything. And then I gave it all back, and then they split up and everything. And then as an adult, I thought that was a really sweet thing for him to do, because he didn't know me, and he lent me something really personal, like his actual camcorder video cassettes from recording Rage in Eden or whenever it was. So I thought, if ever I saw Midge-Ure again, I would mention it to him. So me and Andy went to a book signing. I mentioned it to him, and he was like, had a nice little chat with him, and he said he would come on an electronic cafe. Brilliant. So we sent him an email, and then we also know Rusty Egan, who's obviously friends with Midge-Ure, and he said, "Oh yeah, Midge will come on." So we sent Midge an email, a couple of emails, and he was busy, couldn't come on. And in the end, like, we didn't want to bug him, so we just kind of stopped sending emails. Me and Andy was record shopping in Soho, walking down the road. Walking towards us with a guitar case was like Midge-Ure, like the whole of London. You've got Midge-Ure coming up to us. So we literally stopped in front of him, and he kind of went.
He knew us, but he couldn't place.
Yeah. He goes, "I owe you an email, don't I?" So he said,
and an interview.
We had a little chat with him, and he said, "Look, I'm in Portugal this week. Give me a." So, I mean, it's just by pure happenstance. So he's walking through Soho, and we came face to face with him. What are the chances of that?
Just like always, voices calling. Just like always. Whoa, it's in your eyes. I can see you now. Oh, there's eyes. You say you're mine, like suicide.
If you could create your own kind of festival.
Whoa.
Go on, you asked that one.
Whoa.
Wait. Before we move on, you said Rusty Egan.
Yeah.
So the other day, I'm going through documentaries, and I see the Blitz Kids.
Wasn't that a great documentary?
It's great. And Rusty Egan is he's championed actors online. So I was like, hell, I'm going to send Rusty a message. So 2 days ago, I emailed him, and I said, we're going to be in London. I'd love to have you as our guest, maybe even come out and DJ and stuff. And he sent me back a huge email of like, because obviously he's got the gift of gab.
Oh, wait till you meet him.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, I need to respond to his email, because he sent me back a really lovely email and stuff, because I didn't realize he was a drummer with Midge-Ure. Is it?
Yeah. The Skids.
Rich Kids?
Rich Kids, that's it. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the Skids for a while as well. I mean, me and Mark, we're good friends with Rusty. Like, we've done 2 or 3 interview set events with him. We're doing one for him in September because hopefully the new album's out in his book, and it's like a 3-day event, and we're interviewing him live at this hotel thing. He's great. We all owe him a lot, you know. But he literally went to Germany and brought Kraftwerk to the UK because no one knew. He's that kind of guy, right? Rusty's he's a tour de force. He really is.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming up the end of this year at the Design Museum in London about the Blitz Club. So there's a lot of things about the Blitz Club and how influential it was, and Spandau Ballet are doing bits for it, or Gary Kemp's doing bits for it, and obviously Rusty being the DJ at Blitz. I mean, he was like the heart of the storm. So yeah. He's doing this thing, and me and Andy are doing the Q&A for it, so that should be good.
But yeah, I'm glad you've hooked up with him. He's got a heart of gold.
So Mark, going back to one of my questions.
It's one of yours. Yeah.
Andy's a bit like your dog. Like, if he doesn't get any attention, he's like gets a bit.
Just like the end of days, the wailing shadows call us.
The development of actors and the way the sound has gone over the last couple of albums, and you're writing new stuff. Is there any new sound you want to explore, or is it developed into something else, or is it?
You know, when we're on tour and we're driving a lot, as we drive into the cities, I like listening to like hardcore techno, just like.
Yeah, no.
You know, like just like it helps me get into the zone, and I can kind of shut off. I don't listen to very many contemporary artists because I don't want to sound like anybody. And when I really try and just let the influences permeate naturally. Like, so to me, I've always explained, like, I feel like Actors was like dropping this pebble into the water, and then the ripples going out in every direction. I just want to do more of what we've done and just let it slowly expand. Mm-hmm. So for me to like really change the sound, it's going to have to be very deliberate, you know? So I just like writing songs that have a cool beat and some cool synthesizers, and the lyrics have to really ring true to me as well. Like a lot of them are like at least semi-autobiographical, you know? It's just, you know, you take inspiration from parts of your life, or you get kind of like inspired. I'll see a movie that makes me feel a certain way, and then you kind of turn that into an emotion for a song. So I don't see, like, we're not going to take any left turns and like put out like an industrial record or anything. That's for sure.
Well, the best music comes from the heart, mate, right? I mean, everything we've done, you can hear it. I mean,
it naturally develops anyway, doesn't it? Because, you know, you get new equipment and you get new sounds. I mean, you know, if you start playing with a new synthesizer, you could be playing the same sort of thing that you muck around with in the studio, but just because it sounds differently, it triggers an idea and it leads you up a path.
Like, the first record, I was playing a Juno 60 a lot. The second record, I was playing a Prophet 6 a lot. On this record, I'm using a whole plethora of synthesizers, except those two, you know? So it's really just a matter of kind of changing things up. And like the guitar tones change here and there. Live where the guitar is more prominent. Some people like that better. Some people like the more stripped back kind of on the record. I like that duality. You know, I try and keep that happening. The new record definitely has some crunchier guitars at times, but they're accents. They don't drive the song.
Dreaming at the back of the classroom. Mother never understood. Dance with me.
So if actors could curate their own festival with bands old and new, who would be on the bill?
Oh, there's a question.
Bauhaus.
Bauhaus, for sure.
Who else would you like?
Swans.
Swans.
Good shout.
9 Inch Nails would have to headline after we saw them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did as well.
Shit.
Yeah, we saw them in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm really sad that the Soft Moon is no longer with us. He was very influential to me at the beginning of Actors in terms of, I felt like it was a very underground, do-it-yourself kind of production and vibe. And I felt inspired by that. And I always want to play a show with him. And sadly, he's passed now. So that would have been a good one. We love Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge Killing Joke fans.
Are you looking at my record collection behind me, Jason?
Yeah.
You read all these because it's like...
Yeah. Obviously, like Depeche Mode or something.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Yeah.
What a festival.
Yeah, I'm buying a ticket for that festival.
Yeah. I think it would go. I think that festival would cost so much money to put on that the whole world would have to
You
attend.
saw the price of the last Depeche Mode tickets. It's like, geez.
Yeah.
But it's interesting though, because me and Andy, we grew up like 4 miles from Basildon, where Depeche Mode started. So we used to see Depeche Mode
All the time.
1981 in tiny little pubs and stuff. And like,
Wow, yeah.
I mean, now they've gone on to like probably one of the biggest bands in the world. It's just like, it's crazy that.
Yeah, the 4 guys we saw in a little bar in either somewhere in Essex, when Vince was with them. It's like unbelievable.
Okay, so moving on to the slightly fun questions. Tell us something about you two, what you geek out on, which people probably don't know.
Chasing puppies.
Yeah. Dog life for me, for sure. Training the puppy.
Yeah, she's big on that.
I love animals, so it's been and Mary, our puppy, is my first dog and my first puppy, so it's been quite a learning experience raising a dog for the first time. And all the things. Dogs don't know anything when you adopt them, so you have to teach them you have to teach them how to be a good dog in the world. I'm also very passionate about good coffee. I have a nice espresso machine that I use and I maintain and take care of.
Like an old car.
Yeah.
Stuff it up.
Jason, what's your passion outside of music that you geek out on, which people wouldn't necessarily know?
You know what? Growing up, a lot of my growing up was just, me and my mom. And she always had us living next to a mall. I think it was to help make sure I was safe, had somewhere to go,
Wow.
So if we're burnt out on if I'm done with the studio and I'll be like, hey Shannon, let's go to Coquitlam Center or Metrotown Mall, and we go to these suburban malls and we just walk around. I feel it very calming to just walk around, just touch the clothes and look at things. I don't necessarily even buy anything. I just go to all the stores and look at everything. And there's just something calming about it for me. And I think that goes back to my childhood, being a child of the 80s.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
For the taste of tears that take the hit. I'm lost for words. There's nothing left. Feel like that's all you get.
Staying on the fun questions, here's one for you both. You both get a table for 4. So, Mr. Corbett, who are your 3 guests? And Miss Hemmett, who are your 3 guests? We love the answer. So we get some really obscure answers here sometimes.
3 guests. I could be anybody, living or dead.
Living dead, yeah.
I'll say Rick Owens, fashion designer. Leonard Cohen,
Wow.
Courtney Love.
Great shout.
I'm learning things with
That's a
the
funky table, right? I want to sit next to you guys and hear that conversation.
It might be a little chaotic and peaceful at the same time.
Well, you'll definitely be the peacemaker on that table, Shannon.
I would say David Lynch,
Oh, yeah.
David Bowie, and Yukio Mishima.
Bless you. Who's
If I
that?
had Yukio Mishima, he's a Japanese writer. He's just a really interesting character. You know, he was married, but he was homosexual. He really believed in like imperialist, like Japan. But his books kind of have this tender like duality of like coming to terms with who he is as a person, and you know, he was a very weak as a child. But then he got into like weightlifting and building up his body. Like his whole model was like the sword and the pen. He wrote the books, The Sailor Who Fell from Grace with the Sea, which became a movie. Spring Snow, a whole bunch of books I've read of his. That even Acts of Worship, the name of that record is that's the name of one of his books.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Wow, I've learned something right there. I'm going to check this guy out. Thank you.
And if you were stranded on a desert island, what would be your desert island disc? What would be the album that you took that you played?
Roxy Music Avalon for me.
Oh, nice.
I can understand why from what you said earlier. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. My default answer is Depeche Mode's Violator, but I'm going to choose something different just to because I'm sure a lot of people say that record.
No. Do you know what, Shannon? The funny thing is, as you say, because you buy a lot of music. Like it's clear you two, like me, we all love music. You'll give an answer one day, and it'll completely change the next day because your brain goes, "Oh shit, I forgot that, and I forgot that."
One of the really formative records for me in the 90s was Hole's Live Through This album. So that would be too.
That's a great shout.
Courtney Love is on your dinner table and on a desert island with you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So until you're a fan of Courtney Love. Nothing wrong with that. Guys, listen, thank you so much for coming on. Can't wait to hear the new album. And obviously, we're talking to Rusty, so if you want him to support, we'll help you make that happen. Not that you need our help, but we, love what you're doing. All the EC guys out there that watch our channel, please, if you haven't investigated Axes or Leathers, why the hell not? Start buying this stuff. So, guys,
you have nothing to lose except for...
You just no. Listen, you listen to this stuff. People's ears are happy. That's all that matters, right? You're making people's ears happy, Jason, Shannon. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Big thrill to us. I mean, we've been fans of you guys for a number of years, and we spoke briefly at the garage. But it's really nice to...
It's your fault, Mark. I remember because me and Mark always sharing. He went, "Dude, you got to check this band out." It's about 6 years ago. Axis, and we both nag each other until we buy the album, and I was so glad I did. So yeah, I've got to thank my brother here for introducing me to you guys. So that's the reason I'm a big fan.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys. Have a good day. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Cheers, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.